Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 29 of the Smite Update. My name is Octane Pro, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, Risty. Risty, how's it going?
Hey, it's fine. It almost sounded like you almost forgot the name of the show then. It was quite
Sometimes I forget because I have so many shows going on right now. It's like, all right, which one is this? Trying to register, trying to figure it out. But we're pretty good to go. How's it going, chat room? Welcome, guys, all 61 of you coming out.
You almost missed me. Everyone almost missed me because
that's right.
We had a time issue that we didn't quite realise until now. That the UK clocks went back today an hour. The US clocks don't go back until next week or something like that, you said.
Well, hey, East Coast time is the only time that matters, so you have to understand that. Like, you know, that's where the New York Stock Exchange is, so that's pretty much affects the entire world. So, that matters for everything.
Not quite sure, but I'll let you go with that one for the moment.
Come on now, I'm a stupid American. Yeah. Just accept it and move on with it.
Stupid American, I'll give you that one.
So anyways, guys, welcome to the Smite Update. As I said before, my name is Octane Pro, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, Risty, this week. Before we go ahead and jump into the show notes, Risty, what have you been up to the past week?
League. Not League, I mean, as in the leagues in Smite, pretty much. So I've been caning that up, just working and stuff like that, and I've been streaming as well. I didn't stream Thursday and Friday night.
Yay!
But I didn't do it Thursday and Friday because I went for a few drinks after work.
Yep.
And it turned into a bit of a big one. And I was still recovering at Saturday, Sunday.
You little disaster.
Yeah, pretty much.
You disaster. Well, good. Happy to hear that you got some League play in. I got a little bit in as well. Quite interesting experience, though. We can definitely get into that as we talk a little bit more about League. I myself has been, I was away Monday through Thursday, and I was away for business, and believe it or not, a buddy of mine got Hearthstone, and I really wanted to try it out, so the Wednesday night, I was actually streaming Hearthstone from a hotel room, and that was kind of interesting. I would have played Smite, but it definitely doesn't work over hotel internet. So I went ahead and played some Hearthstone and had a lot of fun with that. Been playing a little bit off and on here and there, but still get my Smite play in. So been having a blast with that. Before we go ahead and jump into the show notes, to go ahead over our wonderful friend here, Sun Wukong, and some of the Tencent announcement stuff coming up here in the next week, actually. I want to remind you guys to go over to one of our sponsors, tweakedaudio.com. Check them out. Go over there. Once again, tweakedaudio.com. Use the promo code OctanePro, and that'll get you 33% off your entire purchase, plus free shipping anywhere in the world for a set of noise-canceling earbuds. Myself and Risty both use them. We really, really like them. They're no tangle cords, noise-canceling. They have 7 different styles, 6 different colors. And the cool thing is, they only end up costing about $16 US, and then you get a free lifetime warranty with them as well, which is pretty sweet. Because I know Risty, I guarantee Risty's going to break them before I do. Guaranteed.
Really?
Guaranteed you break them.
No way.
I bet you. We'll wait and see, but I guarantee you'll break yours before I break mine. I've not broken a pair yet, and I have 3 pairs, so we'll see what happens.
I got mine from you, so I'll have to probably go for you when I break them.
That's right. That's right. Well, anyways, guys, let's not waste too much time here. Let's go ahead and jump into this past week's patch notes for October 23rd, and we'll also go over a little bit of the hotfix from the 25th. So take it away, Risty.
Right, Sun Wukong's back. They say the return of the Monkey King. He's left. He was a little child when he left, and he come back, and now he's buff as fuck. Yeah, pretty much. He's basically Lazarus of the game world again now, just like pumped. So he's come back more of a bruiser than more of a jungle assassin sort of thing. So we'll go through his skills that he's got. Undefeated body, the passive. When Sun Wukong is below 50% health, he gains 10% critical chance and plus 20 protections. Plus another 1% critical chance and 1 protection for each of his levels. So up to like a 20. So it can go up to a maximum of 30 critical strike chance when he's below 50 health and 40 protections. So he can get quite tanky if you get him down below 50%. So that's quite a nice little passive to kick in there. The magic, I don't know. Was it Codgel?
Codgel sounds appropriate.
Big boom staff stick thing. There we go. Yep. Sun Wukong's stick grows in length. All the girls going, woo! No, it slams down damaging.
I have not heard that one yet, but I like it.
Oh, it's got to be. As soon as I first saw it in the reveal, I went, Oh yeah. Someone Kong's got one.
Alrighty. All right.
Yeah, so just extends, does just basically a frontal attack in a line in front of him. It's a good bit of damage on it, and it's quite fun the fact that you can do it while running and can hit people over walls and stuff like that.
Sure.
It's quite
Sure.
We do have the second ability, Master's Will. Sun Wukong strikes around him, dealing damage to enemies and knocking them all up in sequence. So basically, it's just like Sobek's Tail Whip.
Yep.
It's pretty much all I can think of that one. This is the new ability that they really give to him that I quite like is 72 transformations. Sun Wukong transforms into an eagle, a tiger, or an ox and charges forward. An eagle is the fastest of the three forms, immune to slow, root, and knockups. The tiger mauls the first target it hits, stuns them, and causes damage. And the ox knocks all the enemies in its path aside, causing damage, and immune to slows, roots, and knockup effects. Now, the last ability, the Somersault Cloud. Somersault Cloud is his ultimate. Sun Wukong leaps onto his cloud, leaving a perfect decoy of himself behind to fight. While on the cloud, Sun Wukong is invisible and regenerates health. He may leap off before the cloud duration expires, dealing damage to enemies, and the decoy has 50% of Sun Wukong's current stats. No, it has all of Sun Wukong's current stats, but does 50% of his actual physical power. If the decoy dies beforehand, though, before the timer expires, Sun Wukong is revealed on his cloud, so you can see him in the air there after a little while.
So pretty cool, pretty cool. I went ahead and showed kind of his in-game model and his, and also his Sun Wukong Silver Sage skin. So Rissi, you've had some time to play with him. I've had quite a few games to play with him as well. Let's kind of discuss Sun Wukong overall. What are your thoughts with him overall? Where do you see him being played? What are your thoughts on his abilities? What do you think so far?
I played him a bit, but I couldn't really stick him in like a certain role. I wouldn't think he's a jungler at all. Just I'd probably stick him more of a solo laner than anything else. That'd probably be where I'd go. He can escape from quite a lot of stuff. There's the amount of times I've like clutched getting away from everything straight into Eagle and I'm gone. See ya.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool how they give that to him. It's a different approach to like a disengage for Hi-Rez, where in the past we've seen our leaps and our jumps and our dives and all that stuff. And this is the first guy that I'm really, really happy with, where, you know, his 72 transformations, which of course is completely misleading. He only has 3. Come on now, should be labeled correctly. They should just call it transformation. Anyways, I really like the Eagle. I find myself using the Eagle on his third ability, the transformations, 99 out of 100% of the time. What about you? Do you find yourself using Eagle the most, or is it the Tiger or the Ox, or what kind of fits best with your gameplay style?
Probably Tiger if they don't see me coming, and Ox if I'm just jumping through a load of people. If it's a big team fight, Ox normally.
Okay.
Tiger if I want to pick out a single person, and then if it's the oh crap I need to leave button, it's the Eagle.
So if they're by themselves, they don't see you, you'll initiate actually with the Tiger.
Yeah, I go for the
Pretty
stun
cool.
just for the extra damage. Yeah.
Sure. That's pretty cool. I like his first ability. It took me a little bit of time to kind of get down leading with it in regards to actually lining it up with the damage. You just kind of have to aim it where the enemy god is, of course, going to be, which makes sense with a lot of the skill shot abilities. His second ability is pretty cool, pretty typical, nothing crazy. We talked about transformation. Now, what are your thoughts on his ultimate, which is the Somersault Cloud?
It freaked me out a little bit at first because I was trying to move it.
Yes.
Why are you not moving? And it doesn't have a very long range. It's like you go up in the air and it's like.
Well, I think that's the point, though, because if he had the range, it wouldn't be balanced because of the healing that's involved with it. It's not like it's going to be, as a lot of people have given him the nickname of Goku from Dragon Ball Z. It's not like you're going to jump up on your cloud and whisk across the sky. This is not something that's going to do that. This is more of a heal and then a re-engage most of the time back into battle, or a very, very small disengage from what I've found. I find a lot of times, though, like, it's like kind of like my oh shit button, like oh crap, getting collapsed on, go ahead and pop his ultimate, heal up a little bit, and then re-engage with coming down from the sky and trying to get as many people inside of my ultimate as possible. Do you find that as well?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, after time, I'm never like, oh, let's just use his ultimate for extra damage. I'm just like, oh, I'd rather just beat them with a stick.
Yeah.
That's pretty. It's literally, I'm like, I'm getting hit. hit that button, and then you see him twirling up. Now, I haven't played against him enough to actually see if you can see the animation. You know when he twirls the stick in like the yellow spin before he goes up?
Yeah. Yep.
Because at the moment it's like, right, he drops a decoy, a perfect decoy of him. But if you see him charge it up, you know he's going up. And you can't cancel the charge up either.
Sure, sure. No, I can understand that, and there's a little bit of a delay before you, and I understand why the delay is there before you go ahead and jump up into the air on the cloud and everything like that. I'm not sure how much I like the transition. I think it could be a little bit smoother. It catches you off guard as the player, but overall, I think it's great. I think his skill set is very, very good. Actually, saw him banned in the EU and NA here and there with some of those games as well, just because he's a newer god. You can't be played, but. So he wasn't available to actually see him played today and yesterday. But I really, really like him. I guess my question is to you, and a lot of people ask this about new gods being introduced into Smite, is he too strong, or is he balanced, or is he weak?
I didn't play him enough to really go like, oh, he's so strong. He felt balanced enough to me, but that was because I've played like 4 games with him, I think.
Okay.
Rather than like completely smashed it out.
Yep.
Like I normally do with most gods. But he felt all right. He got out a lot of situations that I thought you should have never got out of. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And then chat does say that you do see the animation for the charge up going into the summer onto his ultimate. So seeing the charge up defeats the object for me for having the decoy.
Yeah. I mean,
it kind of
I don't know with chat if what your thoughts are necessarily for Sun Wukong. Do you think he's balanced? Do you think that he's a little strong? Do you think he's a little weak? If you're watching this on the YouTube VOD, feel free to comment in the comments as well. Let me know your opinions. Would love to hear it. We did see some hot fixes that did come out about 2 days after this patch. They fixed an issue where Sun Wukong would be rooted after using his Somersault Cloud. Interesting type of combination. They also fixed an issue with using Tier 3 of Purification Beads was completely resetting with the cooldown of Transformation, so they fixed that as well. They fixed an issue where the Minotaur stopped attacking Sun Wukong's decoy during his ultimate and instead remained focused on the invulnerable Sun Wukong, which was up in the cloud. I would have liked to see that one, just like the Minotaur swinging up at him. They also fixed an issue where Sun Wukong's decoy would appear as Sun Wukong's decoy when using the game configure option to show god names. Oh, okay. So it would actually say Sun Wukong's decoy. And fixed an issue where killing Sun Wukong's decoy would count towards god kill stacks, which I can understand why they went ahead and made that adjustment for Sun Wukong there. Moving on, we showed his, right as Risty was talking about Sun Wukong, we showed the Silver Sage, and that is the skin. Pretty cool looking. Nothing too extravagant, but not too bad. We had some voice packs come out, the Sun Wukong voice pack, and also Sobek, which includes the pirate Sobek as well. A little loud there. What are you doing over there? Oh, now you're muted. Now I can't even hear you. Now you muted yourself.
I saw what was coming up. I went, oh, they fixed the hell tile on the Jingle Hell tile. I thought, I'll go look at that now. And I've realised, obviously, because I've done all this stuff, that I haven't switched my mics over.
That's okay. The character card for Jingle Hell skin was updated. The Jingle Hell skin is seasonal and thus not available for sale at the present time. So, makes sense. We'll probably see that in December. We saw some changes to worshippers, actually making worshippers a little bit easier to get and actually easier to go ahead and level up. We have here the rate at which worshippers are gained has been changed. For Conquest, you now gain worshippers at a rate of 0.25 per minute. Winning a match gains you 5 additional worshippers. All other game modes, you now will go ahead and gain 0.2 per minute. Winning a match gains you 4 additional worshippers. And finally, for League, you get 0.3 per minute with a max of 5. And they've gone ahead and changed some of the God Mastery ranks. I won't go through all of them, 1 through 10, but 1 is now equal to Mastery is now 50, and rank 10 is 1,000. So kind of gives you a little bit better idea as to which one to go ahead and check out, one and or the other. Let's go ahead and jump into the general section of these notes. Keep in mind, guys, we're not going to dive into every single little tidbit unless it's actually valuable, because these notes are very, very long and they are filled with corrections. So, Risty, go ahead and take away the general section.
Yeah, and a side note, Sobek's pirate voice pack, funny as hell.
I have not listened to it yet.
It's incredible. We got a Sobek to literally spam it the whole game because we thought it was hilarious.
I'll have to check that out. I'll have to check it out.
Okay, so leagues, Smite leagues basically it's a replacement for ranked games. Okay, so Smite leagues allow players to compete against each other in arena and conquest during a month-long seasons. At the end of each season, players that have qualified with 10 played matches are then evaluated and placed in league tier based on their performance on the leaderboard. When the season ends, the scoring of the top 10 wins of each player are aggregated. So I'd say averaged. I'll just start together. Oh, no, start together. Sorry. And with the top 20% of each tier graduating to the next tier and the bottom moving down to the lowest tier, the next lowest tier down. The rest of the participants will stay there, and player rankings are reset, and then reset, and the new season starts. For the first season, everyone will be placed in bronze, with the top 20% moving up to the next tier when the season ends, and bottom 20% in bronze will just remain in bronze just because that's where everybody actually is. And the rest of the population of the leagues will be populated each season as players progress to shift among tiers. The tiers we got are bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and diamond.
So I think there's a ton to talk about here. Let's go over it real quick. So the leagues. Have you played any league yet?
Oh yeah.
Conquest or arena or both?
Conquest. The funny thing is, I've gone into playing it now. When I go back to casuals, I'm like, oh, these people are so bad.
Well, I think with
it's
the league,
kind of funny.
Leagues are interesting right now because it's definitely. I mean, I enjoy it. Every league game that I've entered into, people have been very respectful, no BM, looking to win. Yeah, I've actually had no BM. I played like 6 games the other night. I didn't have any BM. Now maybe I just got lucky. But like the team was very, very cooperative, and like when we were doing bad, they weren't like raging over one person. They were just like, yeah, no, hey, we should surrender, blah, 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 blah. But I guess my question for you is, do you like the league system, first off? From what we just talked about there, and chat room, feel free to give your opinion on this. We all start out in bronze, which we're in bronze right now, and I think the season's over like in like 2 days or something like that. I can't remember. Maybe it was 3 days. Maybe they're doing it by like the end of the month. Either way, it's over very, very shortly. Like they're going to go ahead and get it moving. Do you like it with the 20% move up, certain percent move down, blah, blah, blah?
I kind of like that bit of it because obviously it makes you're not literally sitting every day going, am I moving up today? Am I moving up today? I've got to get into this bracket to move up. Fair enough, you don't then play them like right has you get up to where you need to be, and then you've got to do the next place promotion matches. Promotion matches where you've got to win 3 of the next 5 matches to get up to the next bracket. It stops a lot of people jumping up and down. Now, when it comes to the 10 wins aggregated, I find this a little bit weird because what I've been noticing is every 2 wins you get, the next win goes up by 1 point. So whoever plays basically the most matches gets up there. And it's not even the fact that they'd be any good. The person that could put the most time in could literally get to the top league or in the top 20% just because of that. If you did like a law of averages, like you win half your matches, and then someone that's so much better than you only does like the 10 or 15 wins, but yet you do 30 wins, you'd get so many more points than them because of somehow the way that
it rewards the people that are playing the most, which makes sense. But it also, that also comes down to it, and I don't see anything in here like. I want to know how many, what is the scoring for league points in regards to, what validates it here? That's what I want to find out. I want to find out, hey, what's going to make me, let's say I do 30 games and Matty Pocket does 30 games. And it takes our 10 best, and let's say our 10 best are, wins. Well, they're wins. Okay, great. Well, what else is calculated into that? Like, is it your kill to death ratio? Is it the most player damage? What is it determined to go ahead and accurately score your league points? And maybe they've gone ahead and come out with this and I'm not noticing it. But, I like the system they have in place now because everyone's in bronze. It's funny, though, because I've seen several streamers stream on Smite and their title is Diamond Level Player. And I want to be like, no, you're not Diamond, buddy. You're bronze like the rest of us until the leagues actually get distributed. And if I'm reading this right, everyone's going to be bronze, and then in 4 days, I went ahead and checked. You can go to leagues within Smite, top right. You can look. It says 4 days left remaining in the season. when this is over, like let's say the season's over, the top 20% will get moved to silver, and everyone else will stay in bronze, and then it'll continue to go. So it's going to take like 1, 2, 3, 4 months for anybody to get to diamond, if I'm understanding that correctly.
They might fast track it a bit.
Like that's what I'm trying to find out. And how would you fast track that?
No, I mean they're fast tracking it a bit at the moment with like their seasons are shorter than a month.
Their seasons might be really quick in order to get all the leagues filled. But for right now, like in 4 days, no one's going to be diamond. It's either you're going to have your top 20% are going to be in silver, then you're going to have everyone else is going to be in bronze.
Don't worry, I've been laughing at the streamers that go grinding the diamond as well. I'm like,
you ain't gonna get there. I mean, that's not meaning anything because the season ends and you're all set back to the same thing. It's just that you've been moved up, to silver will be the next one from there, and then gold, platinum, diamond. I guess my next question for you is, what are your thoughts on the name of the leagues? Do you like the leagues or no?
They seem a bit standard. They seem a bit like,
I would have preferred to see like bronze to be called like peons. And then, like, silver to be called, what does a knight have as, like, their apprentice? What is it called? What's that?
Squire?
Squire. And then, like, so have, like, peon, squire, apprentice,
I think they've done it because it's very easy to understand.
And I understand that. And it would be cool to see, like, the top level be called God, like a god, and then, like, the level below that be called, like, demigod, and, stuff like that. Like, it'd be cool to kind of see that type of stuff.
Go with the game a bit.
I understand it's easy for everybody to understand, because everybody understands bronze, silver, gold, blah, 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 blah. But, I don't know, it just seems very generic. Anyways,
what I'd like to see as well, the fact that, okay, I know my, like, league placement, but I don't know where I am in the league per se, because I'm like, well, how many people are in the tier that I'm in?
Sure,
it doesn't give me a total, so I can't go, oh, I'm in the top 20%. So, am I or am I not?
Yeah, I mean,
I think there's just a few things they need to add. I'd like to have a bit more transparency with this information, a bit more.
Yeah, more information the better.
Because we can see the top. Was it the top 100 at the minute? And I'm like, well, they're definitely going up. But what about the rest of the stuff? Where?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Looking from there, let's go ahead and move on from there. The respawn timers for players during matches and conquests have been changed. I know this has been very different over the past several weeks, actually. They've had a lot of changes done to it. They do 4 plus the level times the level times 0.1. Whatever. There's some math. Either way, the old system used to be a cap of 60 seconds. The new system is your level times 3. So the minimum respawn timer of 5 seconds. The maximum, let's see, after the match has gone 30 minutes, an extra 1 second is added to all respawn times every minute. Interesting. Okay. So they made some changes there. They've also made some changes to the gold as well. The old system. Anyways, it's posted in the notes. I'm not going to go through the math and try to calculate this out. Check out the notes. They are on smitegame.com. Moving on from there, Phoenixes that respawn now deal 50% less damage and have 50% reduced health. And they still spawn at 25% health. What's your thoughts on this, Risty, now seeing that Phoenixes are weaker after they've been killed the first time?
Well, it makes it harder for you to come back into the game, doesn't it? Because clearly you're the ones on the back foot that have lost the Phoenix already. But you've managed to defend it for 5 minutes, and then it comes back and it feels a bit irrelevant. Now you're like, well, now it's half health. And the damage was irrelevant anyway. No one ever cared about the damage that it put out.
Oh, yeah, because at that point in the game, you just walk by the Phoenix.
Yeah. They're already pretty easy to kill anyway after time it's with the Fire Giant buff. So they're already pretty easy to kill. But it's just... I don't think they needed to do that. I think that's a bit much. They fixed the respawn timers now, so that's all right. Because I had one that was like 80 seconds once because the game went on too long. Jesus Christ, I'm sitting there forever going, kill me now. But no, I think it's the same when you look at like mythology and stuff like that. When does a phoenix come back at half its health? Well, like when a phoenix is reborn, it's a brand new phoenix.
I can understand.
I don't want to crap one. So yeah. So no, I'm not sure about it.
Me either.
I haven't noticed it really, but we normally finish games quite quickly.
Oh, moving on from there. Players now can customize the cast mode for each ability on a god using a skill menu. So when you hit K and you go ahead, they redid the K menu some time ago. You can go ahead and jump in there. And then once you're actually in there, you can go ahead and take a look. And you could go, okay, well, let's say for Mummify, I want this type of cast mode versus this type of cast mode. They went ahead and made some changes there so that it's a little more customizable depending on your gameplay style, how you like to cast, depending on the ability, all the way down to it. So it's really cool. Really happy to see that. Jump has been added into several other gods, and I think you could agree, Risty, I'd rather see them take out Jump.
Yeah,
I don't want to see Smite turn into this game where we're adding things to Smite that have no effect to the game necessarily.
Well, no, I feel the first point on my bit that I'm going to come up to is literally, it kind of adds it to a bit more like high level skill, but jumping now interrupts melee hit progression. So when you get the old Fury Crafters out that go, it used to be like Loki. You used to want to do like 2 or 3 hits, then use a skill that it would reset, and then do 2 or 3 hits there, and that would be that. Now people are going to be hit 3 times, jump, hit 3 times, jump, and it's going to... I don't know if I like that actual, like... I don't mind... Complexity in the game's alright, but I don't think that's a bit cheesy, to be honest. I don't know.
I mean, I understand. It's kind of one of those things where, like, I don't know. To me, I'd rather see them remove jump, and I don't want to start to see some of this, like, non-combat type of stuff in game. The game is so focused right now. It's such a well-oiled machine, and now you're adding jump back into it. I mean, what are we going to see next? I mean, that's kind of my concern. And it's annoying just to see gods walking around jumping. It's just like jump. It's like, oh, brings me back to WoW. I don't know. Some people like it. Some people don't. I just feel like, get rid of it. I don't think it's needed. But whatever. We'll see. They made a bunch of adjustments to jump in order to fix a bunch of problems that they did have with jump, as you talked about there. Some things like ground speed or air changes have been done, fixing an issue in which jumping air control was retained after being knocked. So you can kind of like control yourself as you're getting, or steer yourself as you're getting knocked through the air. They fixed some animations with freezing and being knocked back when jumped. So made a bunch of jump changes, and we'll have to see, what exactly happens to jump as we start to move forward in the next few weeks.
Yeah, and then they also, they fixed a few other bits where it's being affected by slows and roots now happen immediately when you're jumping, and for stuns. It's just a complete load of crap. Basically, they've put something in there that no one really thought about needing again, even though it was in the original closed beta. They took it out. It was kind of like, oh, okay, they took it out, but no one's really give it a second thought since, apart from the developers, obviously. And it's just a pain in the ass. Here we go. So we got characters should no longer resume some of their casting animations after landing. I've had this a few times where I've got knocked about, and then all of a sudden I've clicked around and I still cast this about. It's weird.
Okay.
I get stuck on like this, or the skills kind of stick sometimes, or I don't know.
You know what I'd be interested to hear from chat, and why we're kind of in the middle of it. If chat room, if you like jump, if you want to see it kept in the game, or if you think we should, or if you think it should just be removed again, post in chat, or if you're listening to the YouTube VOD, post in the comments there. Interested to hear kind of what the consensus is. Carry on, sir. Carry on.
Carry on. Okay. The end match screen has done some visual improvements. Haven't noticed.
Yeah, neither have I. Neither have I. It's okay. I haven't noticed.
It's really bad. Oh no, it just shows how much we cared about the artwork. Yep. God screen now features the ability to search for a god by name. Okay. Didn't really need that either. An issue has been fixed. You know what I need actually? I want to see mastery levels in the lobby and make that visible for people to see as well. Because there's a few times.
Oh, okay. So you could see my mastery levels and I could see yours.
Well, yeah. Well, literally, if you pick the god, like someone picks Loki, and you're like, oh, okay, Loki's kind of interesting. But then as soon as you get into the loading screen, you go, rank 10 Loki. Oh, yeah. But before that, you're a bit like, not so sure.
Yeah, exactly. If Loki's a bad pick, and then you get in and you're like, wow, you're like level 10. Nice job. Blah, blah, blah. I can understand that. I don't know. I think... but the big thing there is it kind of coincides with leagues and like ranked, where you're only really playing the people that you've kind of mastered and gotten good at. Whereas with casual, it's just kind of, you should be able to play whoever without being judged on how good you are with them. So I can understand it. It's got its pros and its cons.
Okay. An issue has been fixed where that causing player deployed walls to block line of sight from towers. So basically, you couldn't get shot through a Ymir wall. That would have been
Really?
pretty good.
Wow, I
Oh,
did not
I
know about
wish I
that
knew
one.
that. I would
I
have
know.
kept
I would have
100%.
capitalized on that sucker in no time.
The cap of crowd control reduction has been increased from 30% to 40%. That's obviously when the boots and the tank and stuff.
Yep. Yep.
A new god rotation has been added: Apollo, Bacchus, Kronos, Humbat, and Odin. Kay's screen, obviously the skill screen has been had visual improvements.
Yeah, we saw that
They've
one.
increased some flood protection triggers by 1. That's about it from there. And it says about the end screen again. The jungle harpies and cyclopses have art revisions. I don't like the new harpies.
Really? I like them. I think they look good. I think
They look a bit like chickens. I'm not sure.
maybe. I think
Yeah.
the Cyclops look okay. I mean, I don't know. I think it's better than what they were.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see. I mean, that's not the end of the world. We don't really care, to be honest. We kill them. That's all that matters.
Yeah. It just looks a bit weird sometimes. I look around and go, you look a bit weird. But other than that, okay. The minimum surrender time has been increased from to 15 minutes.
This must make people rage when they're getting curb stomped and under the first 10-minute mark, and they're like, I just want to go ahead and quit, and then they hit it and they can't till the 15-minute mark.
Do you know, like, there's been so many games where actually I've been, well, I suppose you get the curb stomped and you want to go and get out, but there's been a lot of games lately that were like, we're going to lose this one, we're going to lose it. Like 20 minutes in, we're just like getting hammered, and then all of a sudden it just turns around and it's like, I'm so glad I didn't surrender. That's pretty much
I've
what
had
it
a
was.
few of those over the past few weeks. I'll have to admit, I've been skeptical. I've been like, I just want to get out of this game. It's so bad. And then we win it, and I'm like, whatever. Yep, see? Good job, team.
Yeah, I thank God it didn't go through. That's pretty much how it feels.
Yes.
We've also got as well fixed an issue in which certain gods would play their intro animations and voice effects twice. So when you load it in, so you wouldn't really kind of care when you loaded in because you was too busy buying your own items. Fixed an issue where some gods would instacast their abilities if interrupted previously. That's what I was getting quite a lot of the time. So
Really?
I still think I've been getting that though. I swear I'm still getting that at some points. I haven't actually got any footage to prove it, but okay.
Good to know. Going ahead, moving forward, there were the last few changes to the general section of the patch notes. There were a bunch of fixes. I won't go into all of them. Some of the changes to Erez, to the auras, to the hide of Urchint, cleansing, Sobek collisions, stuff like that. If you guys want to read more in detail about the individual fixes per item, please go ahead and check the patch notes over at SmiteGame.com. Outside of that, they made some minor changes to the UI, to the match accept process. On top of that, we also saw some bug fix changes to the death camera, which you would see under the game world. I did see a video of somebody running into that. I think it was Memorize, actually. It was this weird, like, under the world where he just kind of hung out and he was just kind of standing there. And he was like, all right, what do we do now? Just kind of hanging out. We also saw some performance changes to the low texture details, so really happy to start to see some adjustments for some of those players that don't have the beefiest of computers. Kind of some adjustments there. Some level of detail adjustments as well. And let's see, minion arrows have a more glowy treatment, so adding some visual effects. See, this is like the perfect time to do all this stuff, but a lot of that stuff can be done like after the game releases, if you ask me. Like here, minion arrows have a more glowy treatment, which makes them more visible when spectating. I want to be like, really? Was that a huge problem? You know what I mean? It's like, oh boy. It's the art department, right, Risty? The art department.
Yeah, they need something to do.
They need something to do, that's right. And they made some changes to the foliage and trees to help control popping. Let's go ahead and move on to the spectator section. There isn't really anything huge except for maybe the second thing. I'll let Risty go ahead and jump into that.
No, they just made some art refinements to cut away like the environment meshes, so when you're spectating it's not too bad. They've added an assisted mode, which kind of works pretty good. They refined the UI to reflect free spectator mode. So you've got manual, that's just your standard one. Assisted is the overview cam that shifts its pitch and angle as the camera rises and falls. When in assisted mode, the camera will not auto choose a target. The users will need to click a player on the scoreboard or on the minimap for it to follow action. When the pinging the map within an area with players, the player who is the furthest back will be get the focus so you can see the whole team fight a lot more easier when it's been watched. And then directed is the complete automatic one. So the assisted one looks pretty good. I've watched them kind of do it over the tournaments and stuff. It just keeps everyone in view. So it kind of automatically does it. It's not... They look like they're getting somewhere with this camera work now. It's actually starting to look kind of good.
It's going to take over Observer. I guarantee they're never going to put Observer in at this point. The direction they're going, they're not looking to put Observers in. They're looking to try to have an automated Observer system. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. I really don't.
They want to keep us out of the way. Keep us out of a job.
That's because then they don't need to support having like a whole new system where it's like, okay, we're going to have an observer, and then we need to be able to go ahead and code and set up where two streamer or casters can go ahead and follow off a type of an observer, and they'd have to rebuild like their spectator mode system, and I don't see them doing that right now. Someday, hopefully they'll understand it. But yeah, anything else? I mean, I know we have a few different modes now, but anything else with spectator mode? I know it's really limited for people.
I think they've added, I've only just noticed it now, it's F5 will now toggle the visibility of the bottom spectator info panel, so we can remove it. Thank God for that. Finally, again, we can have that. Other than that, no, it's pretty much all the same.
Okay.
No, just kind of irrelevant stuff, so I'll let you do it.
Okay, great. Let's go ahead and move into the items, guys. Lots and lots of items to go over, so I'm just going to kind of go through some of them there. We saw some changes to Ankh, which have been very, very effective. Tier 2, the speed has been removed. We have some physical protection that's been increased from 20 to 25, and the health's been increased from 200 to 250. Now, there's two different Ankhs there. You have your Ankh of the Golem or Ankh of the Bear. Your Ankh of the Golem has had its speed removed. The physical protection was increased because of the speed removal from 25 to 35, and the health went from 350 to 550, so 200 difference there on the Golem. As for the Bear, attack speed once again removed. So physical protection was increased from 40 to 55, and the health from 250 to 350. Book of Thaw, we had this item builds up to 75 stacks now and gains 5 stacks for a god kill and 1 stack for a minion kill. The tier 3 option has had some changes. It's called Ma'ata's Tomb. You permanently gain 50 mana per stack and receive 1 stack per minute. Additionally, 2% of your mana is converted to magical power. So pretty cool item here, Book of Thaw. Happy to see some changes there. Brawler's Beadstick, been around for a while now. The passive has been changed to lower healing by 50%. The critical strike chance has been removed from this item entirely. And the item provides a 5, 15, and 25 physical power. The new Tier 3 option has been added as well, called Brawlers. And here it is, that item, Kajel, which is the same thing that Sun Wukong uses. Is first, that's that staff item. Enemies hit by abilities have 25% reduced healing and generation for 3 seconds. So pretty cool actually to see this item. Definitely goes along with the Brawler's Beadstick name. We now see Devourer's Gloves coming back into it. The item now builds up to 60 stacks and now gains 5 stacks for a god kill and 1 stack for a minion. And the new Tier 3 option is Devourer's Touch. You permanently gain 2 physical power and 1% physical lifesteal per stack and receive 1 stack per minute. Risty, glad to see Devourer's Gloves actually have a purpose again.
Well, yeah, it's now the one to pick up again, pretty much. As long as you get all the stacks, it's all great and dandy. Yeah, I miss Devourer's Gloves. Devourer's Gloves was always like the go-to. Literally, get your boots, Devourer's Gloves, get them stacked up early. Yeah. But I also like the way they do the new tiers now. That if you don't want to have to go out and stack it, or you get it pretty late, you won't get it as good, but it'll stack up on its own, and you don't have to worry about getting the last hits. I don't see many people ever picking these up though. I don't see a point to pick them up. Why would you pick up something that it does it on its own when you can quite easily get stacked? Because really, you're gonna want the min max of everything, can't you? You're gonna want as much damage as possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't see the point of them too much. But other than that, okay. So Divine Ruin just had a new third tier one added, Divine Wrath. It's basically like the new Brawler's Stick one that's added. Mm-hmm. It's enemies hit by your basic attacks have 50% reduced healing and regen for 3 seconds. So it's basically the opposite one for the mages because they had the actives one anyway. So it's just basically if they'd let. No, I won't even go into that rant. I'll leave that one alone. That's all right. No, I'll let that go because this one's now obviously. That's magical power. The other one's physical power, and it does both things. It's all good. Fatalis here had a new one added, which is quite funny. Hastened Fatalis. passive basic. When a basic attack hits a target, the attacking movement speed debuff is removed from you for 1 second. So it's basically like having a level 3 sprint, but all the time as long as you can keep hitting something. So it's just like, well, Mercury, just keep going. Especially if you've got like a high movement speed in general. So like Mercury, for instance, got boots, Heartseeker, plus he's 10% from his skill. So he's moving pretty quickly, and then he's just beating the back of your head, and he won't ever stop.
Mercury was banned so much today and yesterday in the tournaments. It's ridiculous.
Oh no,
it's ridiculous. So like everyone's just like auto ban. Click, 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 click.
By Mercury. That and the Bakasura solo lane as well. There we got Fist of Gods. Just had a new color change. It's got a bit of a silver bit to it now. It looks alright. I can't see nothing too much about it.
Okay.
Hide and Nemean. No, it's not Nemean line. It's what's that? Leviathan. There we go. The cooldown reduction, the crowd control reduction has been reduced from 30% to 20%. This now stacks with other crowd control reductions. So, okay, I guess it's because the cap had been changed, so now it does stack. So they thought they actually, I don't know. They just wanted to change it around.
Sure.
Hydra, the Hydra limit. Man, I am having terrible. I hate names.
That's
I really
okay.
hate.
Keep moving. You got it.
I'm going. Tier 3, the additional damage done has been increased from 125% of your base physical power to 175. So they're trying to give it a bit of a boost for people to actually use it. I still don't see it. And I actually tell a lie. I've seen Loki's picking this up recently.
Really? Okay.
I have seen a Loki in one of my last league games. Unbelievably destroyed us. He picked up teleport to ward really early in the game.
Okay.
They had the duo lane, obviously, with Eye of Providence. I've forgotten what it is now. Just dropping wards all the time. And he constantly, every time the jungler come over, teleported over. And then it was a 4-man gank on the left-hand side. All the time. And he had that. It ripped us apart. Unbelievable. Couldn't do nothing to it. Very good tactic, actually. I quite like it. So, yeah, they've changed that. So, the new third item... the new third tier option of this item, Hydra's Demise. I can say that one. There we go. The passive. After 5 seconds after using an ability, your next basic attack will deal damage. Will deal an additional 50% of your physical power from buffs. From buffs and items as physical damage.
Okay.
It applies every 2 seconds. I'm not quite sure how that one works. Physical power from buffs and... I don't know. Oh, maybe if you've got like a load of buffs, it adds it up from like the red buff and stuff like that. I'm not 100% how that works.
Okay.
Entirely. Magi's Blessing as well. This item now provides 5, 10 to 15 protections to both physical and magical protection. Tier 2, I'm guessing that's obviously tier 1, 2 and 3. Tier 2, the crowd control reduction has been reduced from 25% to 20%. And this now stacks with other ones as well. So they're basically just helping it all out to stack because they obviously stopped it beforehand. And a new third tier option has been added. Magi's Coal. I'm going with Coal. There we go.
Yeah, Cow.
Cow. Yeah. This item has 35 protections to both physical and magical. The crowd control reduction is reduced from 40 to 20%. This item stacks with other crowd control effects. So everything stacks with crowd control effects now. Everything stacks.
Yeah, there's a few other changes. We had Quinn's Blade, some changes there. Tier 3 item, Quinn Size, which pretty much your basic attack deals 20 plus 6% of your target's missing health. In addition to physical damage, this only affects gods, doesn't affect minions. We had some changes to Rage as well. Third item, one to Rage there. Little tweaks here and there on the lower levels, but Malice now for Rage, which is a plus 25 physical power, plus 40% critical strike chance, and plus 9% attack speed. So the Malice item is pretty badass now for Rage, one of the top 3 or tier 3 items. Reinforced Grievers. Haven't seen a lot of things done to this recently, but the crowd control reduction has been reduced from 30 to 20. Stone of Gaia, which hasn't really had a lot of tweaks done, now has a Gem of Gaia, which is the 3rd level available. Increases your mana regeneration by 1% per 1% of your missing mana. So when you're missing mana, you get an increase a lot faster there with the mana regen with Gem of Gaia. Just another gem to talk about in game. Transcendence had some changes done as well, along with a tier 3 Ascendance. The opposite of Transcendence, Ascendance. You permanently gain 50 mana per stack and receive 1 mana per minute. Additionally, 2% of your mana is converted. I didn't see there was a huge problem with mana when you're getting these items. I'm really surprised they're putting a lot into a lot of mana. Have you noticed that? Like a lot of these item changes are like increase mana, more mana per stack.
It's not like you have a problem with mana in game.
No, I mean I don't. I'm not really sure.
I don't get it. Like, fair enough with Stone of Gaia. I used to in the old days of Odin before they ever changed him.
Yeah.
I used to pick up Stone of Gaia just to get the mana regen. Really, I used to pick that up like third, and then I would never have a problem with mana after that ever again. So that's kind of, that was just with that. So this one's a bit kind of irrelevant. I feel they're just adding items now just for the sake of adding items.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know. Chat room, what are your thoughts? We've had a lot of new items added in. That was the end of our, it looks like our end. We have Warlock Sash too. The Warlock Ring has been added. You permanently gain 20% health and plus 2 health and plus 2 magical power per stack and receive 1 stack per minute. Anyways, chat room, what are your thoughts on some of these new items? Do you think that end game or even early game we needed a lot of this mana return? Do you think we were suffering? Are they trying to move people a little bit away from like the meditation, which you see a lot of casual and new players go ahead and pick up? Even with mana pots, what are your thoughts necessarily on these? Please go ahead and comment on the video or post in chat. What are your thoughts on some of these new items? Let's go ahead and move on. We only have a few god changes, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so the general one, the camera is now rotatable during these abilities. Apollo's ultimate, the Arachne Broodlings. Why is it rotatable during the Broodlings? Okay, Hades, Death from Below, and they just added like a rotating camera for some weird reason during.
Just to make it more graphically friendly, I feel like when they're doing some of these abilities, that's all.
Yeah, when you're doing Apollo's coming down, the last thing you're going to be doing is rotating your camera. Maybe you mean Shards of Ice. I could have a little look around while I'm doing that. It's not too bad. The Broodlings low for Arachne. I don't get that one too much. But we'll see. So it's just kind of a weird one. So they've just allowed you to rotate the cameras now. Aquan's had some effects, updated visuals and performance. Hades now has a new loading screen card for default skin. Mercury's victory screen animation has been modified. Poseidon's modified auto attack animation. Honestly, I still don't know. I was literally just playing him, and I didn't notice any difference. I am terrible at noticing differences. Typical bloke, okay? Yeah. Ra has the new ground targeters, and Zeus Lightning Storm. The amount of time that Zeus takes to deploy this ability has been reduced from 1.2 seconds to 0.6 seconds. So he's going to light your ass up a whole lot faster.
Pretty much.
Yeah. It was bad enough before, but yeah, it's going to rip you apart.
I did notice the Hades change there with the card screen default skin, and then I did notice with the his little portrait on the god selection, he's very like purpley now, like very very heavy, a lot brighter, lighter type of purple color I've noticed so far.
I think that's about the only one I've seen.
Yeah. Outside of there, guys, some of the other changes that were hot fixed outside of Sun Wukong. The Fire Giant now awards 150 gold to each person and on the team that defeats him. The damage buff versus towers and phoenixes from the Fire Giant has been increased. So when you do get the Fire Giant, you get the buff. They've now increased it to 20% from 15%. So pretty much they were questioning the snowball effect, and now they're just like pushing it out there to be like, yep, we know it's there. Let's go ahead. And what I mean by snowball effect, guys, is like when you get Fire Giant, most likely you'll clear a god or two or maybe the whole team. Then you just go ahead to plow through the rest of the game. There's this giant trickle effect. One of them being Fire Giant, and then going into like wiping towers to win the game so quickly. So they made that adjustment.
Lasts like 5 seconds.
I know, right?
Gone.
Yep. So 15 to 20%, pretty drastic. 5% increase there. The base amount of gold that is gained when killing an enemy player has been increased from 100 to 150. And the range at which you can see the health bar on minions has been increased. And finally, the cap for the amount of player damage that minions will mitigate over time has been increased from 40 to 50. So a little more sustainable when it comes down to some of those guys. Moving on, let's go ahead and jump into the esports update of this show. We did actually get a brand new page from Hi-Rez. What are your thoughts on the overhaul of the esports page?
Do you know what the best bit about it was? They took the stream out.
Yes, they
Oh,
did.
I was like, thank God for that. I need the link for it, actually. Where is it? But yeah, I do like the new esports page, actually. There is the link. There we go. I
Yeah, I like
posted
the
it.
timers at the top, kind of like make sure that everyone is aware of like, okay, here's when the next tournament's coming up. It's much more cleaner, a lot more news in regards to esports too, which is kind of cool. Like you head down, and the recent headlines are all esports related, compared to when you go ahead and you're looking at like the Smite game page. It's more game content, which is perfect. I really, really like it. Happy to see that. You see the spoilers? You can turn it like on.
Yeah, I like that. And then you can pick the region you want, and then spoilers on and
Yeah,
off.
that's
So
kind of
yeah,
cool. That's
good.
kind of cool to see. Good idea there. They have some player and team rankings, so we'll see some integration with the game going on there as well. The teams haven't been up yet, or the stats, but you can go into the tournaments, and they have a brand new bracket available now too, kind of following the exact same screen that we saw on the homepage. So pretty cool to see that. Nice job to Hi-Rez for redoing that page. I didn't see it as like a night and day problem, but I'm really happy to see the change, as it definitely will be beneficial. But let's go ahead and go over some of these results here. For the North American side, we saw Denial Esports walk away with a W on the board, getting first place over Was it Exodus? Exodus?
Exodus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exodus. I think it's, let me see here. Exodus. There we go. Exodus Esports. I apologize. I know like the name is a little goofy. Reason Gaming got third over top of Cognitive Gaming. So Cognitive Gaming getting fourth there. Finally, for the EU scene, SK Gaming and Morality Esports in the grand finals. No surprise there at all. Both these teams phenomenal. We did see SK Gaming winning. And then we saw Allied Fanboys, which I don't know if this is actually a serious group or if this is just some people that are having some fun.
I think they had a different name last week. I remember. I think I heard Driver saying about it. But
okay.
they actually do pretty well, but they just keep changing their name every week.
And then My Revenge EU. I feel like we haven't seen My Revenge come back into the scene for a while. Is that correct, or am I wrong? I feel like I haven't seen them in a while. At least maybe in the top four.
Yeah, not in the top four. No, they've not been in the top bits only for a while. They've definitely been about, but they haven't been getting in. I think. No, they've not been getting in.
Okay.
So
good to know. Let's go ahead and move into this week in Smite and see what else is going on.
It's just the standard upcoming events that we've got. Pretty much everybody, guys, with the calendars. There's nothing really changed.
Nope.
It's a standard Clash of the Gods on Wednesday. The 3v3. We got the French Weekly doesn't exist. And Denial Casual EU on Saturday, as well as the NA
I'm surprised
official.
though you don't see the Smite Tube tournament on Wednesday and Friday. I don't know why. What's going on over there, Smite Tube? Get together with Kelly. Get this figured out.
I think they've literally got this on like a rolling thing.
Yeah, right. Just keeps on updating. Yeah. I can understand that. Completely
understandable. They said last week it was Young Bay fanboys. I was in a league game with Young Bay. He was on the opposing team.
Oh yeah.
Poor guy.
How'd that go for you?
We actually did all right, but whenever he come over as Hebo, he tore us apart. He was literally tearing us apart, but he still lost because his team was that bad.
Oh,
and then they went, please report him afterwards, because apparently he flamed like whole game. So poor guy. I could probably understand it though. It was pretty brutal. So it's kind of
So moving on from there, on our weekly community Smite content, some things we want to point out to you guys. We have the Tencent Smite beta, which if you are members of the Reddit subreddit, you'll notice at the very, very top, it is very Tencent-like. And you'll notice that up there, it does have the launch date for the Tencent Smite beta on October 31st. So that will be coming up here, and that will be on Thursday. I went ahead and included in here some pictures of some of the... and I want to get your opinion, Risty, on this. These are some screenshots of what the game looks like if you're coming into the game from the Asian market.
It looks better than ours.
And for those of you guys that aren't familiar, what is Tencent? What is this Smite Tencent? Well, you'll notice that you'll see Tencent's name everywhere with the name Smite for the Asian market. This is kind of unique. It's not like, okay, we have the NA region, the EU region, and then we have the Chinese Asian region. This is different. This is a Tencent product, I feel like. And you guys will completely agree when I show you these screenshots. Well, those of you guys that aren't familiar with Tencent is pretty much an investing company. They call it a publishing company, but they go ahead and partner with companies. They have partnered with Hi-Rez back at Gamescom. They announced it, that they're partnering with Hi-Rez Studios to push out Smite in the Asian, Chinese market, a few things like that. So they are a publisher. Now, the interesting thing is, I'll go ahead and throw this up here. Let's go ahead and show the first one here. This is the logon screen for the Smite Asian scene. What are your thoughts on this, Risty?
Let me just wait for it to come up.
It's okay.
It's gonna be there. I'm on a.
You could just check the notes, and I have the link.
I know. I don't know which one you're actually on.
I'm on the first one. I go in order, Risty. I go in order.
Okay, the first one. There we go. No, I like it. I think it looks really cool. You got like the Erez and Poseidon. Is it Poseidon in the background? I know. Go on, you and Neef. It just looks so cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It to ours.
I like it. I do. I want to know what that says above Smite though at the top. And what I mean by that is if that says Tencent in Chinese, I have a problem with it. If it doesn't say Tencent and it says Smite in Chinese, then I'm fine with it. The reason I mean that is because it frustrates me that we're starting to see this Tencent Smite product that is Smite, but it's not Smite. It's like its own separate entity. Like, hey, you guys built Smite. Now we're going to take it, rework it, and we're going to build it into a Chinese market. Like, I just want them to be another region. That's all I want. That's all they should be.
Someone says in chat, it says God Catastrophe.
God,
in chat.
What does that have to do with
I have
anything?
no idea. I suppose it's like a battle of gods, but they've added it in Smite. I don't know why they've put it up there, though.
So, then we have our second image here. And let me bring up what notes I have here. This is the second image. And this image is, let's see here. This is the game launch screen. Believe it or not. The second image here.
The hammer looks pretty cool.
Yeah, the hammer's cool. The graphics look badass. I think it's pretty sweet. Really happy to see that. That's pretty cool looking. It looks like the Chinese are really pushing, which is interesting, off of like Thor. But like they're Chinese, so you think that they would be building it towards like Guan Yu or Zhangqi, but like they're like promoting it around Thor a lot, which is interesting. Yeah, but
could you imagine that Chinese don't like Chinese stuff because they're sick of Chinese
stuff? That's true. That's true. So this is the loading screen there, and then finally here is like, which this is all they see right now. If you go to head, you can see how like outdated it is yet, which is funny because like I feel like the Chinese market's going to be like behind us by like 2 months or whatever. Because, you know, like China always gets everything later, I feel like, than if it comes out in the U.S., it comes out in China like 2 months later. Well, here's the Zhangqi on the loading screen right now. They can't go any further until the 31st. So this is what they're seeing. So, okay, I'm fine. I'm really interested to see more of the product, and I'm not trying to, like, rage too much about it, but I'm concerned because I want the Chinese region to still... Here's my concern, is that the Chinese market and the EU and NA is going to be this giant separation. You're going to have Smite, NA, and EU over on the left, and then you're going to go ahead and have Tencent's Smite Asian market on the right. And it's going to be this huge separation and difference between the two. Where like right now, like EU, you know, even though it's a different server, people are always talking about stuff together on Reddit. You know, we can always collaborate and talk about different things. You see a lot of vice versa content. Where I feel like all of a sudden, like the Tencent stuff has been so like isolated where like Hi-Rez is like, here Tencent, here's our game, make us famous, we'll give it to you, go ahead and put it over in Asia and China and make us, you know, do whatever you want to the game. Are you getting that sense just yet, or is it just me?
It might be just you.
Okay.
I'm more of the, I just want to kind of, I've kind of stepped back from kind of like anticipating what they're going to do, to see what actually happens, because the amount of times that I've gone, what are you doing, you idiots?
Yeah,
and then
right?
it actually doesn't turn out to be too bad.
Sure.
But yeah, the post is below it, what we're going to put out as well as a Reddit thread on how to get into Chinese Smite.
Yep.
I think it's actually what I think it is. So you can actually go and try and play on their servers, I think.
Yes, you can. I went ahead. I included that in chat as well. I'm going to try it out this week, see how it goes. It's kind of goofy, though, because if you go to the page, it says, okay, and this is for setting up your QQ account. So you have to go ahead and set up a completely separate account outside of Smite's website. That's what's starting to get me. Like, this is a completely different game. Like,
yeah,
you ready?
It doesn't
guys,
connect to the main.
Here's the website to go ahead and create an account for Smite. What do you guys think about that? Does that look like anything related to Smite? Not at all. Like,
I'm just thinking as well, does that mean all of the database stuff, like all of our gods that we've obviously got on our side, we couldn't. Fair enough. You got to make a whole new account because it's a different region. Fair enough, but I don't know. That website looks really, really plain.
Somebody in chat says, yeah, that's the Tencent website. And it's like, that's fine, but it's Hi-Rez's game. Or is it? You know what I mean? Because it's Hi-Rez's game, so why aren't they logging onto the Hi-Rez website in a Chinese version and creating their account? Instead, they're going over to Tencent's website, creating an account on Tencent's website, and then logging into the game. I don't know. It's just kind of goofy to me. Like, I understand Tencent comes with millions and millions and millions of dollars, and we were not told how much money Tencent was partnering with Hi-Rez on it. Okay, no problem. I understand. Just kind of gets me, though. You know what I mean? That's all.
Yeah, I kind of understand where you're coming from. You'd like it to be a bit more glitz and glamour as well, the way it should be, the way it's all here. But it's going to be one of the ones. It's even they haven't put any effort into it, to be honest. From what you can see there, it literally is just a plain website.
Well, some people said in chat, like people in chat are saying, okay,
it's new though.
QQ is the Google of China, and QQ is Tencent's website. I understand that. That's fine, and if that's the case, so be it. My concern is that I thought, and the way I anticipated it was, all right, Tencent's just going to take care of promoting the game in China and Asia and pushing the game, but it's still going to be Hi-Rez's game. Well, the way it's looking to me, it doesn't look like Hi-Rez's game anymore. It looks like it's Tencent's game.
This is almost like having a Google account running in Smite.
Exactly. That's like saying, okay, guys, guess what? You got to go over to Google, log into your Gmail account, then you can go ahead and log into Smite. Well, why? Well, because Google bought Smite, and so that's how they want to make you interface with it and all that stuff. You know what I mean? That's all. And some people in chat are like, oh, that's what they use over in Asia, blah, blah, blah. A lot of people use it, which, okay, whatever, that's fine. But I don't like the idea. And some of you guys could completely argue with me. Put your comments in chat. Put it on the comments on the video, on the VOD. But to me, it's like, this is Smite's game. Let's keep the communities intertwined. Like, I want to keep the community, like, just like NA and EU are very intertwined. I just want to re-add in the Chinese market. I want us to collaborate. I want things to merge together. But I feel like there's going to be this huge void. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's all. Let's go ahead and move into the spoils, and I'll let Risty take this one here. We have some more Erez spoils.
Okay, so Erez, as his usual thing, likes to spoil every time. This was during the NA tournament. He seems to only spoil during the NA tournament that people have kind of noticed. During the EU stuff, nothing ever happens. There's no love for the EU side.
As I told you before, the East Coast time is the only time that matters. As you can tell, all Hi-Rez, the NA Hi-Rez tournaments work off of that time and everything. Come on.
God. Apparently the B god's pretty sweet.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, give you that one. It's kind of rolls of time. It's going to be a little spoilers about the China beta coming up very soon, as we've already kind of gathered that it's coming up. We have a few people out of town in China.
Yeah, I saw Hi-Rez Stu actually posted a Twitter picture that said, what did it say? The next God skin, and it was a picture of a golden Aokong, and it was like a statue. It was a gold statue. So I know Hi-Rez Stu is at least over there right now.
Yeah, so they're also doing Vulcan redoing the next patch as well, so he might actually be interesting to play rather than drop your turret, lose your turret. Oh crap, I'm stuck for 10 seconds. But that's pretty much it. Yeah. You do see Golden Noodle, as he likes to call it, like Golden Alcon was coming soon.
Yep.
Doesn't say exactly when though, it just says coming soon, so it might be next patch.
Yeah.
What's this? New meta kill everything? No.
Because of the game that went on between Exodus and Crimson Guards, where Exodus went 51-10. So they said new meta because Anister's Mercury went 22-2.
Okay.
You're gonna see a buff to Mercury next patch, guaranteed.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, my guide would be terrible. Okay, practice makes perfect. Not very much about that. Info spoils. No, pretty much covers everything.
Yeah, that's pretty much that. So, little spoils, nothing too crazy just yet. Let's go ahead and jump into the next piece of content we want to show you guys for this week. And let's go ahead and... Oh, hang on. I'm like going backwards here. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Let me go ahead and zoom in here. This is a comic, which I thought was pretty cool. We start to see... There's a lot of art coming out of the Smite community, and I'm all for it. There's a show right now on the Hi-Rez YouTube and also on Twitch on their Smite game. on art as well. And here's just another example of some cool comic stuff. So this isn't a comic here. I'll just kind of scroll through it real slowly so you guys can see it.
It's kind of funny.
So there's a little comic there. I'll go ahead and link it in chat if you guys want to check it out a little bit more. Nothing too crazy, but kind of cool, kind of different. Glad to see some more comic stuff coming out there. And then finally, we had episode 3 of the Lightning Round, which went ahead and showed 2 members from Gank First Gaming, Smitten, and then we also have the gentleman over there as well. I'm drawing a blank on his name. Soapbox, that's right. Both of them over there, just kind of highlighting them, some of their content they've created, doing fairly well over at Gank First Gaming's YouTube, so kind of cool to see that as well. I'll go ahead and put that. That's the Lightning Round, and that is the 3rd episode, and that is by Hi-Rez Duke. He actually does that, so pretty cool to see that. Let's go ahead and jump into one of our last sections of today's show.
So we like to do God reviews every now and again, just to kind of look at them, see where they are in game at the moment. Are they balanced? Do they feel all right? Do you think they need a buff and stuff like that? So the 3, we go from like alphabetical order. So the 3 that we've got coming up next are Arachne, Erez, and Artemis. Now, Arachne, I thought once we started being able to pull through walls, could be a bit silly, but I've not seen anyone actually use it yet, really.
Yeah, I guess my question is for you with Arachne. Are you happy with the state of Arachne right now in the game?
I just did a video of Arachne and I am terrible. She's so difficult to learn. Oh my god, such a skill cap on it. Early,
we call people like you noobs, by the way.
I know. I think Arachne has a place pretty much because in the jungle early game, you can't fight Arachne. She just will kick your ass one-on-one. But then you always know that in the late game, she's practically non-existent, so you don't even notice about it. So like when I was in a league match, I was in the team and I had an Arachne and I picked up a Mercury because I went, when she falls off, I get stronger. So it kind of worked off that way. Okay. But yeah, she kind of feels all right there. They nerfed her web, which some people feel was a bit too much. They took the
cripple off of the web, yeah.
Yeah, and they thought it was a bit like, well, why? Because she's hard enough to play as it is. But she is pretty strong on the ganks. There's a few... She can either be so strong once she gets like a few extra kills ahead, but then they've also now changed the way that the kills kind of work out. So that getting a lot of kills doesn't mean you steamroll as hard as you used to. So it'll be an interesting one to see how she actually goes anymore, and it might actually make her weak because she needed kills. If you didn't get kills in Arachne, she would fall off so quickly. But she'd also snowball pretty hard as well.
Sure. So, chat room, what are your thoughts on Arachne right now? We're going to go over 3 gods. We're doing each episode, Arachne, Erez, and Artemis today. Let us know what your thoughts are. What are your thoughts on Arachne, Erez, and Artemis? Do you think they're balanced? Do you think they need changes? Are you happy with where they're at? Me, personally, I like Arachne. I don't play Arachne enough, but I'm very happy with her as a god. I think she's balanced. She's at a good spot. She's been in the game long enough where they've been able to fine-tune her. So, really happy with her. Moving on to Erez, I'm happy where Erez is at right now. We're starting to see Erez make some comebacks within the competitive scene. He fell off for quite some time when we saw adjustments made to beads and Aegis, which very easily countered him. Please remember, Erez is very good with his shackles, which adds that cripple, which makes him very, very powerful. Some people complain about that, but
I don't like his damage.
That's all he has. I mean, think of it. That's all Erez has. I mean, his ultimate and his cripple on his shackle is all he has. So.
Burn. Man, I get hit with a few shackles and then he burns me to crap.
Hey, why don't you go over to that? Why don't you go over to that Tencent QQ site? You could hang out there for a little while.
Yeah, I could QQ all day. Yeah, I've never liked Erez though, because to be honest, once you got hit with the chains, it was like a slow, painful death. It was just like, I'm not getting out of this. I'm going to die, and I hated it. It was terrible. But that was only my other problem with him.
So I think Erez is in a good spot right now. And then finally for me, Artemis. Artemis, I think, needs a graphic overhaul done. But I think she's in a nice spot as well. She made some appearances today in the tournament, the Hi-Rez weekly tournament. So she's coming back. She's definitely usable on the competitive side. As a casual side, I don't see her as much, but on the competitive side, I definitely see her being played from some top caliber players. What about you? What are
I
your thoughts
actually,
on Erez
she's
and
my
Hi-Rez?
go-to range carry now in league matches. I will go straight to armors because base damage wise, top. She puts that so much damage, it's ridiculous. So I will go straight for it. I'd actually go for her more than Apollo and Neef, even though they got the global presence. Because when the team fight happens, she just hammers through. You hit that 2 and then just go bang, 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 rip them apart. And then the fact the stun of the boar is so much better in the team fight than the chariot and the world reaver. So when it comes to the team fights in the end, it's so strong.
Somebody
And
had a good comment in chat that said they should make Ares Ultimate like Ymir's, where you can go ahead and pop it whenever you want. Like you can start it out, but then you can end it real quickly.
yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. I'd be all about that.
Yeah, because then it would actually have a bit of skill to it, and the fact that you couldn't always nullify it straight away. Because as soon as Ares pops up, you're like,
Yeah.
just going to stop that one now. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. There is one thing after that. Anything else you want to add about Armus?
No, please go ahead.
There's one thing we got on the notes here, and it's about the new skin, the Halloween skin. I
The
liked
Thanatos
it.
one. Yep.
Yeah, I liked it. It opened up a load of can of worms for me, and I dislike it as well at the same time. Okay. I have
go
got
for it.
It's. I like the fact that it fit with Halloween pretty well. The headless horseman stuff looked good. The pumpkin on top, the armor looked amazing, but for what it was, I kind of went. It just feels like a recolor. It kind of looked like to me, where we got like Jingle Hell, and then we had Barkus, not Barkus, Barkus.
Yeah, Barkus, yep.
Barkus was a full reskin, and Hell was just a little bit, a touch here and there. That kind of, he's more the Hell kind of side of it as well. But Hell we could get for favor. Obviously, that was probably the only one we could get for favor. But that's kind of the level it's at. One bug with it that's kind of annoying, and I've stopped using it for is. He laughs as you're running around, and if you're you're always jungling. It gives your position away in the jungle. It's quite bad. I do like the skin, but it brings up another one that we hate so much.
Oh, yeah,
Why
what's
does
that?
his scythe? Why can they change his scythe green, but we can't have a blue Ra?
Oh, you're talking about with the reskins where
Yeah.
when they go ahead and reskin someone and they make them like a red Ra, his beams and his abilities aren't red; they stay the original color. It's kind of a half-ass move. It's like we're gonna go ahead and give you a new skin, but we're not gonna do it to the full extent. Whereas with this guy, with this skin, it's completely done to the full extent.
Yeah, they give him his thing. I like the fact that they've done it.
Yeah.
But I kind of they need to fix the sound, but I like that they've done it, and it's a good skin. I quite like the skin.
Sure, I agree. I like it too as well. I think it's great. I'm very happy with everything they did with it.
Yeah, with the raw skin I can understand. With the blue Agni, I can kind of understand maybe not giving it the effect because it is just a favor recolor skin, possibly. But if you're gonna get like a convention code, or you're gonna be paying gems for it. I want my blue effects. I want my effect gems. That's pretty much it.
Understandable. Well, guys, before we go ahead and do our gem giveaway, I want to remind you guys to go out to tweakedaudio.com. They're one of the show sponsors. Please go over there, tweakedaudio.com, and you can actually get the high-performance gaming earbuds that myself and Risty are using. They cost about $30. I'm using the parkour ones. Which one are you using, Risty?
About the same ones. Yeah.
You're using the parkour 2s, though, right? Yours have a
yes,
microphone.
two.
Yeah. I have the regular parkours. They're about $30, but if you use the promo code Octane Pro, you'll get 33% off, and you'll also get free shipping anywhere in the world. So drops them down about $16, then you get free shipping anywhere. And the cool thing about them is it's a lifetime warranty. So if you step on them, if you cut the cord accidentally, you get a lifetime warranty with them. You contact them. I've had a few of the listeners buy the Tweaked Audio earbuds. They break them. They contact me and say, hey, how do I get it fixed? I get them in contact with somebody from Tweaked Audio, and they get them fixed. So actually not even fixed. They just replace them for you. So check it out, tweakedaudio.com. Use the promo code OctanePro, and you'll get 33% off plus free shipping anywhere in the world. So make sure you guys go check that out. Before we go ahead and say goodbye, or actually let's go ahead and give people the code to go ahead and win some gems today. If you guys are interested in winning 400 gems, few rules. First rule is you have to be a follower of the stream, where Risty and I for Smite game call home, or for Smite update call home here. Second, you have to be logged into your Twitch account. And third, you have to go ahead and type in chat the name Smite Update, one word. Smite Update, one word. And that'll go ahead and put you in the running for 400 gems. The gems are brought to you by Hi-Rez Studios, so we do go ahead and thank them for providing the gems today. Very nice of them to provide gems for the show to give away. Before we go ahead and go, Risty, do you want to go ahead and let people know where they can find you and or your content in the future?
You can find me everywhere, pretty much Risty UK. So youtube.com/Risty UK, twitch.tv/Risty UK, and Twitter at Risty UK. I do stream every weekday at 7 p.m. GMT to 10 p.m. GMT. So remember, our clocks have changed now, so it might be a little bit different to what yours are. So we'll have to just check on that one. But yeah, that's pretty much where I go to. Every weekday, the weekends, I generally try to work on content. I should try and stream at the weekends because obviously there's a lot more people, but
yeah,
that's what I'm fixed to at the minute, and then I'll up it when I can.
Excellent. Well, guys, you can see the links there in chat that are going to put in chat for our content. Check me out on my website, octaneprogaming.com. There you can go ahead and see my Twitter, my YouTube, all my content's over there. You can donate to the stream if you like what I'm doing here. You can also go ahead and check out VODs. I not only do the Smite Update, I also do another show, which will be Tuesday night, Smite Talk Radio. And then also, right after this show, I'm actually going to be going over onto Hi-Rez's Smite game channel, and I'm going to be doing the tournament wrap-up. And then tonight, actually, I'm going to be doing an interview with 3 players from Exeter's Esports live on Smite Game. So make sure you guys do go over there and check that out. That'll be some fun stuff tonight. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and roll to see who wins the 400 gems for this week's episode of the Smite Update. And rolling the dice now. And congratulations. Let's see. How do you say this guy's name? Efre MCT96. EFRE MCT96. Once again, EFRE MCT96. You have 1 minute to post in chat, sir. And then we'll be handing out your gems and saying our goodbyes. If you guys haven't already and are interested in playing Smite, please go over to smitegame.com. And you can actually play the game for free. It's completely free to sign up. No issues at all. SmiteGame.com. And still waiting for him to respond. Haven't gotten anything just yet. There he is, right there. He's like, hey guys, I'm here. Don't forget about me. I want my gems. So I will go ahead and send him his gems. Those will be sent out in just a quick minute. Any last minute things here, Risty, before we go ahead and get going?
No, apparently I'm going to have a hurricane here today.
You're going to have a hurricane there?
Well, apparently we had a hurricane hurricane winds back in '87, and apparently the weather's just right for that to happen again. So everyone's battening down the hatches really here, which is kind of weird. So,
yeah, right. Batten down the hatches. Stay safe.
Hopefully I'm here tomorrow, and I have a little hut. So other than that, no.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us. We do appreciate it, not only from me, but also from Risty for coming to hang out with us for episode 29 of the Smite Update. Make sure you check out the show's complete VODs on youtube.com/TheSmiteUpdate. Also, you can check out the entire audio version of all of the shows over on iTunes and also on your Android, depending on what app you're looking for. Just go ahead in there and search for The Smite Update, and you can check out everything over there. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.